It's a sleepy village in the middle of Assam's agricultural belt. People who live here in Krishnai are Hindus and Muslim, yet all may soon be deemed undocumented migrants. Sudan Saka is a pensioner. He was born and has lived in the region for as long as he can remember. A Bengali-speaking Hindu, he says this is home and he's Indian. But a recent government census deemed him and his family illegal migrants from Bangladesh. He was arrested and placed in a detention centre for 3 years. Released on bail, he says his experience was traumatic and has led to complex medical issues and psychological disorders.
We would wake for roll call at 6, wash, have a cup of tea and do a little exercise, and then they would lock us up at 2 p.m. The room was not large enough and we slept on the floor, about 45 of us to a room. Sometimes we would not be fed until the next day.
He shows me documents that date back to the 1930s, proving on the surface that his family has always lived in India. The Bengali originating Hindu and Muslim communities here in Krishnai number around about 400 families, and they've lived here for decades, living alongside each other in peace and of course working the paddy fields here that you can see behind me. But the passage of the Citizenship Amendment Act could very well undermine their very existence and render some of them stateless. The new law potentially allows anyone fleeing communal riots or religious persecution to apply for Indian citizenship. But Sudan and some of his neighbours can't apply because the government does not recognise their status. High Court lawyers like Hafiz Chowdhury are waiting to see how the Supreme Court's rule on the controversial legislation.
Right now it is only an act which is passed by the parliament. So until and unless there is rules has to be framed. Only rules can say how to give benefit to those persons. What are those formalities? It is not mentioned here.
For the indigenous people of Assam, the new legislation is worrying. They say it'll make them a minority in their own state by giving citizenship to Hindu refugees.
Various districts in the region have seen violence against Bengali Hindu-speaking families. Their business have been burned down and there have been economic loss, but thankfully no loss of life on this occasion. The Bengali Hindu-speaking community is scared.
Sudan's future is still uncertain. His family's meagre earnings revolve around the production of these plastic bags, and the status of his family, like those in the village of Krishnai, might not be made clear for some time. Sohail, Rahman, Jazeera, Krishnai, Assam.